Welcome back to Kart Globe. It's the 4th edition of the program here at your Karting Global News Network. Everybody's hungry to get back racing, but in the background there are many things to be done to prepare for this. Before we can go back to racing, we need material, tyres, engines, spare parts, and so on. However, all the production stopped during the shutdown. How difficult is it for the manufacturers to make the right decisions for their company and their customers when it feels like they're riding a roller coaster? For some, the office is now the racetrack. So fasten your seatbelt, hang on, and let's go. First stop is Italy, Misano. Buongiorno, Danilo. How are you?
Everything is fine, thanks.
Yes? That's good. I know you're on the track there in Misano today.
Yes, we are in Misano with my DR Formula team.
Okay.
We have a test in Formula Regional. Already now we have a calendar for the season, and the federation decided to do the first race here in Misano,
Okay.
the 2nd of August, and this is the reason why we are here for test.
Okay. Now, of course, I've been following you a little bit because I've seen your social media is booming, and lots of people around the world are sharing and liking DR, racing kart. But Danilo, not only are you involved with the formula, I know you are still quite heavily involved with your kart team, and also, of course, representing the people at the CIK from the manufacturers and the drivers and everybody. You're quite busy, but what happened? Tell me in Italy when you had to stop. What happened?
But, I think not people expect this problem arrive, not only in Italy, I think in all parts of the world. Of course, everything is ready to start about karting, about formula, about everything. And then arrive this big problem, and is really surprise. Something like this normally we see only in the movie, but this is reality.
Yeah, it's reality.
And this sure is a big stop for factory, for driver, for all activity in the generally. And like I told you, I think not people expect something like this.
No.
For what is our activity about business, about racing, about everything, okay, we need to stop. And this is sure is a big problem for everything.
Yeah.
And I don't think really what we lose, we have capacity to take this back.
No.
It's now we are enjoy for start again. They modify a lot the race, the calendar of the race, and sia che FIA they cancel the first round in Kristianstad.
That's right, for
and
the
then
CIK.
for the rest, we take all the race. WSK also modify calendar, and now the 5th of July we have the first race in Adria, and 2 weeks after also the new championship, the champion of the future,
Yes.
will start in Zuera.
Okay, it's a long way across to Spain. Yep.
Yes, and 2 weeks after this race start also the European Championship.
Okay.
And our plan is already to go with my team DR. We do the first test next weekend in Adria, the date 25, 26, 27. And we see after a long time we go again back to the track, and still is not easy for the driver take flight and arrive in Italy because okay, the European community open, but not everything, and some country still you want lockdown
Yeah.
or quarantine when
Yeah.
the driver can go back.
Yes.
And
This
the
is
big
also a
problem we
problem.
have is for the driver arrive from a country out of European community,
Yeah.
because still is not possible move.
No. So tell me, what's your feeling about? Do you think that the drivers that made a commitment will still do the series? Is it worth to do it? Are they able to do this back-to-back racing every week? Because the calendar is pretty much, you know, sometimes they're racing from Monday to Sunday and they have one day and they are on track again, or, you know.
Yeah, it's this is really complicated because you know, all promoter, all decide for them, you know. But for example, I think for many driver, and also for many team, it's not easy to do race every week because like what's happened now, we have Adria, Sarno, Zuera. It's a 4 race after week.
Yeah.
And for example, our decision is already clear. We make test in Adria. After we do only race in Sarno, and we do also race in Zuera.
Okay.
Because for us, participate to every race is a little bit difficult. And I
Yeah.
think also for the driver,
Yeah.
start after a long time not drive.
Also
Do
after the winter, and then suddenly they're at
yes,
home again, and not physically in the kart. I see, you know, a lot of the drivers, even some of the Formula One drivers, have been in the go-kart just trying to get that physical fitness back up. It's not only about going to the gym, but they're sitting really out of the go-kart so long. And also for, like you say, for the travel, for the cost. What happens with your team? Because I know you're a small family business down there in Archer in the south of Rome. What happens to these guys when they're on the track every week? And they can't
it's
be
for
also
us.
in the factory.
For us, it's difficult because you know, in our factory is not a big factory, and many people work in the factory. Also, we go together to the race. And if we stay 1 month after of the factory only for do the race, of course the work in the factory stop, and this
Yeah,
is not possible because we have many customer, many dealer
yeah,
in the world, and we
yeah,
need to give a guarantee about the service.
yes.
And
What about the
this is
drivers? If
also
you,
the reason why we
yeah,
choose to do our program
yes,
for
like
what
it
we
is.
think is correct, and we don't follow the system.
No. Okay. Do you think this is going to be the case for some of the other teams? Because for sure they don't have the team full if people also can't travel there.
You know, in our case, many times is all people look every time what the other people do,
Yes.
and for me this is I don't like to do this. If I take some decision, and I take a decision, of course, with my driver,
Yeah.
and we do what is good for us.
Okay. And tell me, what about the team back in Archer? What have they been doing since they haven't been open, I guess, during the lockdown in Italy? What were they doing? I was wondering.
Yes, we are locked down, but still we do a lot of work inside of the company. We do many things, and in normal situation never we do because it's not time.
No.
And we work inside the factory a lot. I think we develop a lot also the engine with the modern engine,
Yes.
and I really hope already next week we see all result about this.
Tell me, I had a little bit of a smile to myself when I saw the World Championships go to Portugal, to Portimão, Algarve.
Yes.
I know it's one of your dealers there because we've been there many times. So how are you feeling about this? Not going to Brazil, but going to Portimão?
But it's for me, Portugal is some special country. I speak every time after Italy. I really love Portugal.
Yes.
I have many friends there. I work with Paolo Pinero, is the owner of the track. And
Yes.
in the beginning, I help him for homologation, also for design, it's something like this. And for me, when I go to Portugal, it's like if I go to my home. And
Yes.
I'm really enjoy to go there again. And for me, the track is fantastic. It's one of the beautiful track I see. And really, I'm enjoy to go there.
Yeah. Yes. And imagine if they take the Formula One as well this year.
Yes.
They will.
Okay,
They will
but this,
actually. Yeah. It's a.
of the coronavirus
Yeah.
mix
Yeah.
many situations and
Yeah.
possible arrive some new chance for everyone.
Yeah. That's right. Okay, Danilo. I know you're really busy today testing with the team, and everyone's glad to see you. We've been wondering how you are, but you're safe and well, and it looks like you've been healthy, staying healthy, at home with your family there in Andrea. So nice to see you, and coming all the way from Misano, Italy, in the DR truck, in the Formula Team truck. Nice to see you, and great to also hear that you've got a plan, and of course, as you say, not necessarily following what everyone's doing, but what you believe is the right thing for you and the team and your business, but most importantly, the customers and your
Of
staff.
course.
Yeah. Okay, we'll say goodbye, and we'll be watching. Good luck, of course, in the first
Thanks
race.
so much.
Thank you for joining
And
us. It's been
I
really
hope
great.
see you soon.
Yes, we'll see you soon. Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Same nation, different circuit, just a little north is Andrea Karting Raceway. Hi guys, down there, IPK,
Hi.
Jeremy and Cash.
Hello.
Where?
Hey,
Oh,
how are you?
I'm good. Who's that? Oh my goodness.
I'm
Daniil,
tourist.
what are you doing there? And
Spent holiday with us.
yes, he's popped up right there behind you. He's crashed our little interview. What are you doing? On the track, of course. I know what you're doing. You love karting.
Yeah, I love it. And with the guys here, Cash, we worked already. We realized today 11 years ago together, and also Jeremy, I know over a long time. And every time we have opportunity to go karting together, we try to do it. And it's great training for myself, And Jeremy is such a great and fast driver, and for me, he's a fantastic reference. So I try to learn a lot from him when I'm karting. And today, we had a very productive day. We had good fun, good laps, lucky with weather. So it's fantastic training. So I'm happy to spend some time with them.
And did Jeremy let you win with the lap time? Were you faster?
Of course. No, it doesn't work that way. It was about 3 to 4 tenths slower. But honestly, I'm happy. Because,
Wow.
I know how good he is, and for me,
Yes.
it felt good. Here, it's my first time in Adria today.
Yeah.
I've never been to this. So it was good to learn quite a lot of him. So it was a nice experience.
Yes, Andrea Raceway is a different circuit. Of course, it has the nice concrete green grass instead of the grass, but it's a beautiful circuit for testing. And of course, Jeremy there is very, very fast. So, if you're only within half a second, I think you've done really well. And I must admit, you're a little bit taller than the last time I saw you in the press conference in Lonato some years ago. How do you fit in the go-kart now? My goodness.
Okay, I'm just a bit taller than Jeremy, not too much. So of course, I was 15, I think, when you saw me last time in 2009 in Lonato.
My
I
goodness.
got older. So anyway, I'll let you guys have an interview. Let's
Thank
make it
you.
about their upcoming WSK races. And,
Yes.
it was great to see you all.
Nice to see you, yeah. Nice to see you too, and also the guys. I guess, Cash, you've enjoyed having Daniil there with you.
Yes, of Of course.
I'll let you guys talk.
It's a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
It's a pleasure to have him always with us.
Wow, that's a nice, exciting surprise for me. But I know why, because he loves karting, and of course, if he has the opportunity to be on track with you and do a little bit of driving before he starts in the F1 here in Austria,
Yes,
of
they
course,
do.
it's fantastic.
After the confinement,
After the lockdown,
he
Yeah.
came like 2 times per week,
Yeah,
training in my home track in Brignoles.
yeah,
And honestly, he's going every day faster
yeah.
than
every time he's in a go-kart,
every
he's
time
better.
he learn more. He's going faster. Here in Andrea, it was unbelievable. I think for the
Really?
Formula One driver, he stopped to driving go-kart in junior category, so he never did KZ, and now he's 2 or 3 years. He's training with me
Yes.
and improving a lot every day.
Okay,
And
so
his
that,
passion for go-kart is very strong, so
yeah.
so
You
it's
think
also
that's
good
why
for
he's going
me.
better?
For me,
Yeah.
he said that it's good for him to train with me, but it's also good for me to train with him.
Of course,
Because
having Jeremy
he's my driver,
Iglesias is not such a bad thing, is it, Cash, to have Jeremy as
No, no.
your test
No,
partner?
I think Jeremy is one of the top drivers of, let's say, of the world, and I think
Yeah.
if you can learn from Jeremy, even with Daniil, I think it's very important even for him, because
Yeah.
he's testing somebody who's very fast,
Yes.
and I think it helped him also, even I think in the Formula One, because it's always lap time and track time everywhere where he's in the go-kart. Like for the moment, they are not allowed to race in the cars, and I think it's very important even for him to stay the most of time on the track, even in a go-kart.
Yes. Yeah. Of course, Cash, you're preparing there on track in Adria at the karting raceway. Jeremy's got the shakes. I can see the phone moving around. But the thing is, it's okay, Jeremy. I know you've had a big day on the track after this big break. Not so much driving, a little bit of driving with Daniil there. But Cash, preparing now. Are you going to be ready for the first race within 2 weeks?
I think we're going to be ready, but the only problem is that we still got some countries where the customs are still closed, like Brazil, Sweden, South Africa, and I think I think it's still even a little bit too early to do the first race starting from the 29, because
Yeah.
some drivers they don't going to be allowed to come, and
No.
even the Russian driver. And if you see, we got our Russian driver who's driving with our satellite team with Yuri Serafini. And he's leading the championship with 80 points, and probably is not even going to be allowed to come and do the first race. And I think this is why I think it's a little bit too early to do yet the first race from the 29th of June.
June, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
But,
very close. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not an easy thing. It's not an easy choice, because like for us, if we need to lose a championship, because the people cannot reach Italia. And I think it's a little bit a shame of the organization also to organize a race so early then.
Yeah.
Because you take the chance away from a kid from 10 years who can win a championship.
Yeah. It's going to be a really strange season for this, I think. Also, knowing in this short time, the testing, the racing, and once the racing starts, there's no time for testing. I think you have maybe one day or something.
It's going to be straight away. The first race normally start on the 29,
Yeah.
and it's straight away a full week. And even I think even for the kids they are locked down 3 months, and the first week it's straight away 5 or 6 days on the track from the morning till the evening. I think maybe it's just a little bit too much for kids from 9 years till 9, 10, 11 years. I think it's even a little bit too much for them.
I think it's too much for the teenagers.
Yeah,
Because
of
a
course.
lot of those guys, they've been studying at home, they haven't done their sport and been as active. Maybe they do some fitness, but that's when they have time. But with the homeschool and everything is also really, and exams and all this.
I think the fitness is even good, but they're missing all track time. Track time, it's mean you go testing somewhere, and the most of countries, were not even allowed to go testing. It's mean they're going to come over here, and then maybe some kids, they still want to push, and then maybe they're going to hurt themselves on the ribs and all the things.
It's
That's
difficult.
why I think it's a little bit too early, I think.
Yeah.
Honestly, I train every day at home fitness, but nothing. For example, the day we did today is like I don't know, 1 month of fitness. Nothing is better than track time,
Yeah.
And for some people who didn't make some
laps.
some days, or I don't know, even at home, training with Kart here for 1 week is gonna be really hard for them.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
it's straight away 2 weeks, and it's nearly
Really,
straight away
yes.
2 weeks on a row.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't
it's a
know
big
how-
challenge.
Yes.
Big challenge. And, you know, you're a fit guy. I know I was going to ask you, Jeremy, what you were doing, you know, during the lockdown. What else were you doing to stay sort of focused? And have you been, you know, on the simulator, or what do you normally do?
No, I did. Honestly, the first week I was not thinking that the lockdown gonna spend like 3 months. I think was 1 month. So the first week was okay. After the first week, in my mind was really difficult to find the motivation to prepare myself to be ready when we will go back on the track.
Yeah.
So I had honestly 3 or 4 days really difficult, but after I find again the motivation, and I have my own trainer, and I make one program every day, training different things. And when the lockdown stopped in France, I'm lucky because my brother have a track.
Yes.
Formula K sent me one new kart who I prepare for training, and I train 2 days per week. Sometime with Danny, sometime with Noam, the young driver we have also in Formula K, and I spend my lockdown like this. But today coming cross Italia, be here in Italia, I feel happy now, and I can't wait to be on racing again.
Yeah, so you'll sleep well tonight. Not only have you been pushing the limits with Daniil, Kvyat, but you've also been there with all your friends and all that emotion that you're back on the track finally. You're there and it started again.
Honestly, also seeing Cash this morning was like 3 months I don't see him.
But the last
And
time
when he arrived with the car, was like, oh, I know.
Yeah, that's the thing about karting, isn't it? One big community,
I
friends.
think it's 23 of February, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
On 23 of February, we didn't see each other. And normally me and Jeremy, we call maybe, let's say 2-3 times per week.
Yes.
But not seeing each other, it's completely different than have a chat on the phone.
Yeah, this is it. And this is the thing about the big karting community and the family and the spirit of racing. Also brings together everybody that we are friends for so many years. I know you guys, and we always run into each other, and it's like one big family. It doesn't matter where we travel in the world. So many people are missing this really, and I think, as Jeremy said, what he explained about his feelings, where there are so many guys I know, not only in the media but also on the track, the mechanics, the drivers. You know, even the flaggies, they're really missing seeing all of you guys and each other.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's all about passion and all the things.
Yes.
I just want to tell you something. A couple of weeks ago, I was the first time on track again when one of the tracks was open, was in Jesolo. I went with our driver Francesco Celenta. When he passed the first time, just in the front of me, I was nearly crying because it's
oh my goodness.
emotional. After 2 months, after 2 or 3 months, with all the people who's dying with the COVID-19, and then you see your passion just passing in the front of you. I got tears in my eyes when.
Oh my goodness, I've got the goosebumps now listening. Really, I saw the photos on social media when you guys were in Jesolo. I did see the photos, and I was really surprised. I thought, wow, you're already there. But of course, you did explain to me when we were talking the other day that every day, just to come into the factory, everybody has to take their temperature. They have to fill in the form. And of course, if anyone has that over 37.5 degrees, they have to stay home. Otherwise, it's not possible for the company to open. All these restrictions.
The Italian rules, they are quite strict also with the masks and everything. Even when I was on the track the first time in Jesolo, they put even on the grandstands, they put some stickers where everybody was allowed to stay. You couldn't come too close, and I think it was really good organized also when I was the first time to the track.
Yeah.
Because they organized an ambulance. When you arrive on the track, they take your temperature.
Okay.
And if it was too high, you were not allowed to go on the track.
Even today.
But even today, when you come over here on the track of Adria, They check straight away your temperature, your body temperature. If it's too
Wow.
high, you're not allowed to go on the track.
Okay.
I think
And what?
it's a good measurement.
Yeah, it is good. I mean, they have to take responsibility, and they are taking the responsibility, as you guys are, I know, in the team, preparing for everything. What about for the company there at IPK, with all the brands that you have as well? You know, with Praga and Formula K, and of course you've got the Kubica kart and so on, but sorry, the OK kart, not Kubica, that's my mistake. I thought I just mentioned that.
We got also the RS kart. We got quite a lot
Yes,
of brands.
the RS kart with Ralf Schumacher. So with all the supply and everything, how's this been really for the business in the factory side?
Now, for the moment, business-wise, it's very difficult, because on the end of the thing, all the motorsport around all the world, it stops. It's mean that nobody even orders some material. Even we got some orders, but really small orders.
Yeah.
Because also I think if some people, they know that they need to order some chassis before the season starts, nobody want to order the chassis. I think in a couple of weeks, when the first race is going to start, I think it will start slowly to work again in the company. But for the moment, no orders. It's very difficult even to work for a company like this.
But for now, everybody's safe and healthy, and you guys are back together?
Yes, of course.
So
after 3 months, we are back together.
yeah,
It's a nice feeling this morning to see also to see Noam Abramzik, to see Romain, to see everybody, Daniil, to see the Jeremy. It's a nice feeling.
yeah, very nice. Okay, I'm going to let you go because I know you've been on track testing. You've got a bit of cleaning to do now before you can go for dinner.
Yeah, because it just finished training now. It just started training about half hour ago, and let's say now we got finished for today. Just cleaning, loading, and go home.
I'm very lucky that I caught you, that it rained. I organised that rain so I could get a chance to talk to you guys on track. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for calling in, and also for seeing Daniil. Please say hello and wish him all the best. We can't go and watch him at the Red Bull Ring. It's only a few hours from here, but we're going to be watching on TV.
You can watch it. You can follow it on the TV.
We can, and we will. And we're going to wish you guys luck for the race season. We'll see you, no doubt, in a very short time on the track. So say hi to everyone, Daniil and everyone at the factory. See you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Jenny.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Within the same region of Italy, less than an hour away, is the home of Kart Republic. Nice to see you, Dino. How are you?
Oh, perfect. We can say perfect after what is happening to all the world.
Yes.
Everybody knows what is happening. I have a battle with my customer. I go to cut my shave when everything will restart.
Yes.
I think awfully quickly.
Yeah.
We are at the end of the problem, because now with our condition, the shave is too much. But I will cut soon, for sure soon, because
But you look quite well. What about inside the factory there? What's happening? Is everyone back at work?
who realistic, you know, you have all info from the news from everywhere. Realistic, we stop at 1 month.
Yes.
1 month completely. We restart beginning of May after 1 month. Lockdown in Italy start in beginning of March, middle of March.
Yes.
And we start slowly end of April. Now everything is reopened from beginning of May. Then we are nearly 1 month, everything reopened. The customer is happy because we have some, we can deliver quickly the material. And we just need to start racing, I think. The main things now is start back to racing.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, have you been on the track doing some testing?
Oh, we already start a little bit, because beginning of the year with the, beginning of the reopen situation, we have only Italian driver is allowed to run in Italy, and then we restart only with Italian driver. Now foreign driver is coming. Oh, I think the big reopen is happening last Monday, the 15th.
Yes.
And I think for first race, now we restart with the first race in the beginning of July. In our team, we got to missing probably 2 driver on 20 driver. We have a 20 driver on the team. We're missing 2 because it's not allowed to come for the moment. But then if you watch the percent is only 10% can be good because to reopen everything, all the track, if we're missing 10-15% of the driver is normal. Is normal.
Mm-hmm. And what about as far as your plans now for this season? What difference does this make that you've had to close down for that time within the factory and also?
Realistic for the international race, and normally we have like a break in the normal calendar, in the beginner calendar, initial. Regional calendar, I think it stopped like a middle of June, end of June for nearly 2 months. Then what is happening now, we already make the 2 month break, and we just restart and we stay on the track probably until November without any stopping.
Mm-hmm.
But will be harder for sure for a mechanic, for the staff, for driver, because nearly every week we are on the track. But everybody want to back the track and smell the fuel and all the smell we have in the truck, and then I think at the end will be fine for everybody.
Yes, I was talking also not only to you, some of the other guys there in Italy on the track today, also Danilo Rossi. Of course, you know Danilo, having worked together many, many years ago. He also was saying it's going to be hard for some of the mechanics and the drivers also. You know, it's a long time out, a long time away. Does it have a big effect on how much this costs for you? And also, does it affect your production side, supporting your customers also on the tracks when you've got all your, you know, guys out there with such a big team every week?
Commercial, we lose 1 or 2 months, and then we lose sailing, we lose something. But I think in the war, everybody lose something.
Yeah.
More important thing is to keep the healthy. If we lose money, okay, doesn't help for sure for the life too, but better to lose money than healthy.
Yes.
So about the mechanics and driver, I think we have nearly, because everybody start to go the track, back to the track beginning of June. Then we have wanted to be prepared for the first race. If all the driver make a good preparation, will be not too difficult to make 3 weeks on the road. The team have to be careful, don't use too much the driver,
Yes.
because it's a young boys also normal. But from other side, all the driver is prepared, and I think if we are not racing, and the normal season, when we are not racing, we are at the track anyway in the weekend to make testing. And then
Yes.
this year, what is happening, we lose a lot testing and we make all the race together. But at the end of the time of the track will be very similar, very similar.
Yes, okay. Tell me your affiliation, I guess, with Sauber, a driver program for the future. What do you think this is going to do this year, knowing that some of these young drivers were probably all set to go, thinking about their age? They're so young now when they step up to the next level. Will it have an impact on this, do you think?
If we watch all this Sauber program, you know, we have more program in our team, because we have even Nico Rosberg program, Rosberg Race Academy. We have a Chetler program, Sauber program. I run one driver is without any program, but Antonelli is anyway one driver from Mercedes young program.
That's right.
Then what I saw, Sauber made good job, because this year last year Patterson finished with the Sauber program in karting and move up to cars. It will be Formula 4 in Italian competition, in Italian championship this year. Then The program is quite well. All the programs run in the same situation. You have some driver, talented driver normally, for sure, because for sure, good team, Formula One team or even Chetila team run, try to find the best talent is possible. Then this driver will be helping a little bit in karting to make the season, economical side and also technical and logistic side. Any things we try to help as more as possible the driver to growing with us.
Yes.
And if the driver potentially is good talent and everything, it will be help even in cars. When you move to cars, we make normally 2 year contract, 2 3 year contract for karting, because if he's coming normally, he's coming when mini car is finished, then about junior age, 13, something like that. Normally he stay 2 3 year maximum karting. I will make a contract for this 3 year with some economic helping, but especially he can join our team and we try to make the best for him to learn more as possible and to teach more as possible. And then he will have a new contract. If everything is going well, he will have a new contract from the program for cars contract. Then at that time, I go away from this situation, but my role is to help from younger to arrive to the cars. And then, like Patterson, for example, with Sauber, now he have a new contract with Sauber for car career.
Yes, it's very, very clear, I think, Dino, that people ask you to support the programs, like you say, different programs, and the drivers. It's interesting also to hear how it works, because I'm sure a lot of people are asking, there's so many different programs. They see your brand of chassis, the KR kart, and they're thinking, okay, how are they associated and how does it work? So it's really interesting, but of course, something to watch. And as you said, if the drivers have that little bit of talent that you see and you can help them to learn so much, but it's going to be good, I think, to see who comes out of this season and who'll be at the top, because we're still waiting to see.
Yeah.
We haven't seen
Exactly.
anyone driving, or not since February. So.
Also, the choice of any program, any driver is made by me regarding karting choosing. Doesn't depend if he want to join us, which chassis use at the moment he asked to be part of the program. He can use any chassis. That I don't watch just if it's a car chassis or whatever. He can use any chassis. What I go to see is a biography of the driver, a little bit data from the driver, just to see how is the driver. Also, it's important is to know the family, the country, the education of the boys, the school program, everything, because driver is not just the boys turn the steering wheel. We need also to go around and to see everything, including with the driver. How is a human boys, how is a family behind, education, school, everything. And then we can sit down. For sure, I need to make 2 3 day testing to see how is the level of the driver, because we need also the driver must be able to
drive.
Wheel. But also, exactly, but also around that, it's not only driver talent or just it. You have to be awfully 360 degree.
Okay, a good package. So now a lot of drivers that are watching this this program are going to say, okay, so I have to be good at school and I have to get myself organised if I want to, have a career like this and be chosen for a program or go into a program. But for now, are you ready to go racing again within 2 weeks? You guys ready?
Of course, of course. Don't forget also, if we go back to the program, also the category is important. We don't watch only OK international classes, OK, OKJ. We go around also to Rotax, X30, any category, because the level now in the world, you can compete in a Rotax challenge or X30 challenge, OK Junior. I think the level is so high in any category. we are watching all the category, and we can choose any driver in any category.
Wow.
That-
Okay.
For the rest, we are ready to start.
Yes.
For sure. First meeting, race meeting will be in 2 weeks in Austria. We start with Austria. We already made some meeting in United States. For example, one of our driver, Emo Fittipaldi, already did the race in United States 2 weeks ago. He won also the race in X30.
Yes.
Then another driver, for example, Levi Revet, already did 2 rounds of Hungarian Rotax Championship, and he won both. And then some of my drivers already raced with a proper team, with a private team follow us in the other category. And now we are ready to start. 2 weeks, and we are on the track.
Yes, I saw one of your drivers at the Winter Cup in Spain, of course. The PEX racing team was over there in the winter when I first arrived back from Australia. Also on the top step of the podium. You've got something in the water there, I think, at KR. I don't know what it is, but lots of success coming out. Of course, I think it has something to do with your influence, your knowledge, and of course, we'll be watching very, very closely when we go back on track at the end of June to see who is really ready and how the drivers are going to handle this. But some really nice, interesting words from Dino Chiesa. Very nice to meet you in your office there, I guess, today. You're staying out of the rain?
Yeah. Me too. I want to see soon all the driver at the track. I hope I satisfy your opinion and your question. We'll see soon at the track. And I promise I will come especially for you. I will come to DKM one race this year. Okay?
Fantastic. Come to the DKM and we'll have to have a chat.
I will come.
Wonderful. We'll have a coffee actually and have a chat, and we'll hear more about how those drivers are going. So thank you very much, Dino. It's been great to have you here at Kart Globe, and we really appreciate your time, and we wish you all the luck for the season, to all the drivers and everybody out there who's driving with you. Thank you. Ciao.
Thank you to everybody. Bye. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
Ciao. We leave Italy, but don't worry, we come back. France and the Bay of Biscay is the next stop, and we see Sodikart.
Hello, Jane. Hello, everybody. Welcome here in Sodikart in France. I hope that you are okay and everybody is okay after this, I would say, specific period of time. And again, welcome to Sodikart. Yeah, let me give you a brief history of the last 3 months here in Sodikart in France. I have closed the company, and we were completely locked down the 17th of March. Then we were back to work, I would say, from the 1st of April, only 40%, 50% of the initial capacity of the company. And beginning of June, we were close to back to normal. Of course, since the beginning, a lot of people here in Sodikart have tried to produce some masks and some holders. So, for example, we have taken our 3D printing capacities to print some specific holders from the local hospital here in the west of France. So everything we could, we have made to support the medical staff here in Nantes and in the region. That was something very important for us. And yes, after the 1st of April, we restarted the company. Again, 40%, 50% of the workers were back to normal. I have to say that we are sending some goods and some carts worldwide, and hopefully a lot of countries were not locked down, so we had to work for the north of Europe, we had to work for China and for Asia as well. So we were happy to do a minimum of work for these countries. And of course, during this period, we never stopped the R&D department. A lot of engineers and technical staff has taken their work at home, I would say, and we were continuing to produce and to think about the strategic and priorities and strategic projects. That was very important for us because now we are more than ready to continue and to be stronger on the market. So this was very important as well. Meanwhile, not only the companies and the factories were closed in France, but as well all the tracks, indoor and outdoor as well. So I spent a lot of time to work with the French Ministry of Sports and the French Federation to be able to reopen as quick as possible all the tracks, first for our partners and customers, and of course for all the drivers who were ready to drive as soon as possible. So thankfully we have succeeded, reopened the outdoor track the 11th of May. Of course it was with some constraints, for example some physical distanciation between drivers, not more than 10 people, with some specific baklavas, etc. inside the helmets. But we succeeded, and from the 11th of May, all the outdoor tracks in France were able to restart, were able to welcome some drivers, rental and racing as well. So it was nice to see this result. And for the indoor track, from the 2nd of June, every indoor track could reopen as well in France. So again, it takes time to come back to normal. Of course, this is not a real case right now, but after 2, 3, 4 weeks, we have seen that for the outdoor track, they are close to back to normal activity. So that's very important for our partners to be back on track and to have these results. During this period as well, we spent a lot of time to try to think about the second part of the season. I am part of the sport working group in the CIK, so of course we had some meetings to try to find some solutions and to find some possibilities to organize a race for the second part of the season. Unfortunately, we were not able to maintain the first OK Junior CIK in Kristianstad, but hopefully all the other races will take place. We had to cancel Le Mans and to reorganize the KZ World Championship in Lonato, etc. So a lot of changes, a lot of I would say some constraints as well with the calendar. But finally, we succeeded in making something acceptable for all the parties, I would say. And in Sodikart, you know that we have 3MK events, 3MK department, which is responsible to organize some races as well. So we have repositioned 2 main and 2 major races in France, the NSK, National Series Karting. The first one will be held in Angerville in August, 22nd and 23rd of August. And the other one, the second one, will take place in Salbris in September. In parallel, we had to organize the Rotax Mac Challenge International Trophy in Le Mans, but as you may know right now, because the official information was made last week, where we had to cancel, not to cancel, but to postpone the Rotax International Trophy from July to December. And of course, the second international trophy, the 2020 international trophy, will take place in Portimao from the 7th to the 13th of next December. It will be 1 month and a half before the next grand final, announced as well in Portimao in January. And of course, it will be the last chance for the drivers to get their tickets, the final tickets, to be part of the grand final in January. So in December, 7 to 13 of December, the Rotax International Trophy will be held in Portimao, Portugal. During this period as well, the Sodikart ambassador, Bas Lammers, he has a chance to to make a physical training via video on the CIK website and on the Sodikart website as well. So you have maybe seen that Bas Lammers was really involved in this new role, in this new job, and I hope that you follow your CIK website and all the websites to see Bas Lammers give you some advice and some tips to stay fit and to be ready for racing just after the lockdown. It was really a good idea, and thanks Bas for that. And now, after this really specific period of time, we have to look further, we have to look ahead and to see what we can do for the kart, generally speaking. We have to invent, we have to be back on track, of course. This is exactly what we will do in Sodikart. Our racing team in KZ with Bas Lammers and Adrien Renaudin will be back on track as soon as possible. It will be beginning of September, because we don't know yet if all the races will be able to take place in July and August. Everything is not really confirmed right now. But in September, of course, we will be back on track with the KZ category. And our two junior drivers, junior drivers, Evan Gilter and William McIntyre, will be back on track, of course, as soon as possible with the second part of the season program, with a lot of race, and of course to focus finally on the World Championship again in Portimao for the OK Junior in end of October, beginning of November 2020. And of course our satellite team, CPB in KZ2, is really pushing hard during these days to train everybody, to have everybody back on track and to be ready for the next races. So I know that Paul Bizalion and all his team will be ready for the next races with a strong goal to be, of course, on the podium and to win the race. During this specific period of time, we spent a lot of energy and a lot of time to think about the restart of the business of our partners. And we were ready before all the others to allow them, all the tracks, the track owner, the track operators, to restart their business with some specific goods. I mean, some alcoholic gel, some specific baklavas, some specific cleaning things, etc. And moreover, all the salesmen from Sodikart were ready to accompany our partners and our distributors, not to sell some goods and not to give a commercial thing. No, it was here to support the customers, to support the partners. It was our priority. And of course, we were here as well in Sodikart to support the tracks and to support our customers because it's a hard time for everybody. So we have to do this role, we have to do this job. We are not selling only cars, but of course we can be there to accompany all the customers and the partners. And for the future, we of course intend to accelerate and to be more and more supporting the partners we have all over the world. Today we have more than 1,500 customers everywhere in the world, more than 100 countries. So it's a lot of customers to help, it's a lot of customers to serve and to be ready to be there for them. And of course, Sodikart will be continuing to improve this quality of service level. And we will do this, and we will bring some novelties as well on the market. So yeah, we will be back on track very soon with some very good novelties. Stay tuned.
We go to Germany, just past Stuttgart, to the home of Spätzle, which is very nice, and you eat it, to Mark 1 Kart. Servus, Martin, Hetschel, all the way from Mark 1 Kart in Germany. Wie geht's?
Yeah, hello, Jenny.
Hi.
Yeah, we are really fine, thank you.
You look fine. You're sitting there in that beautiful office that you have.
Yeah, it's just a meeting room, the small
Yeah.
meeting room. I said maybe it's better than in the office because the office is quite busy.
Okay.
Luckily, we have lots of phone calls, but unfortunately not too much to sell or to ship out at the moment.
Okay.
This is our main.
It's a little bit quiet. Tell me, Martin, what happened from the beginning? What was your initial reaction for the business, for the people? You know, what happened there at Mark 1 Kart?
Yeah, at the very first time, it was end of February when we really make plans to, and when we saw that the crisis will not stop or will not go over soon, and we make the plans. In the first 2-3 weeks, we splitted all our workers into groups to minimize the risk of any infection. And this was also a good idea because nearly no demand from the customers. It was from, let's say, 100% what should be in the spring to close to zero.
Wow.
And this was really hard time for us.
Yeah. And of course, I've seen you on YouTube talking and discussing all different things and technical things, and also speaking with some of the organisers, the media. So tell us a little bit about what your plan was then as you started to sort of roll out of that particular time when you basically had to close down.
Yeah, we got so many phone calls from customers asking us how it works and how we are and what our feeling is. And it was really nice. We had a big support from the customers, even if they say, okay, they postpone the orders and or cancel sometimes the orders because of the reasons. They were always behind us. And I said, okay, let's do some information for all the customers, because I had the feeling that it's very important to include all the karting community and not say, okay, it's Corona, we stop, and maybe half a year or a year later we start again. Then so many people forgot about karting. And so the reason, this was the reason why we started these virtual experience days.
I don't think anyone was forgetting about karting. If anything, I think they all were saying, we can't wait to go back on the track. They were missing seeing all the people. They'd waited all winter and they were all ready, like you say, in the springtime to go. What, obviously a good feedback, good reaction from this. What's the plan now when you start to see they keep changing the race calendars, the schedule, but for sure we're going to see you guys and the teams on track from Mark 1. So what's your plan?
At the moment, we just can do some practice. Luckily, the new Mülsen track is open, the Kerpen track is open, and Wackersdorf is also open. It's a little bit limited, but it's open. That's the good thing. But I talk to so many people and so many drivers, and they say, okay, practice is one thing, but we want to go back to race, because on the race weekends, they can compare to the others. And this is why everybody is doing, or the professional racing drivers doing karting, not for the practice. They want to race, compete, and see their teammates again.
That's right. It's a little bit more. We spoke with Koen Lemmens last week. He said he missed the people. James Geidel said he missed the sport and the passion and the people that come with it when we spoke to him as well on our second episode. So once again, you know, you're feeling the same thing from the people. They want to get out there and drive and race. Which events will you be supporting once the season gets underway in Germany or throughout Europe?
Yeah, we will do the ADAC championship if possible. This was not in the schedule initially because we wanted to do some the German championship and also some race of the European championship. But now everything is open, so for sure we will do the DKM as soon as it starts, and also we will support our local federation, the ADAC, and do the ADAC championship with our team.
I did actually see the ADAC first round was postponed again from July. So, you know, how does this affect you when you think, okay, we've got the orders ready, we've got everything ready for the team, And as you explained to me, you know, people are not sort of investing in buying new karts or all the material until they see, are we going racing? Is it going to really happen? You know, but when you think, okay, now you've got to wait yet another month, you think this is a good thing?
No, for sure it's not a good thing. We should start rather earlier than later, but for sure also the safety of the people and the federations and also the German federation and all the laws should be fulfilled. And this is the main problem and the main thing now.
It's a big responsibility. What about while you've been there working on different things, have you got anything new? Anything you can tell me about this year that might be interesting for me to take a look at, or?
Yeah, we as every year we made some small adjustments on the chassis. For sure, we were planning for the homologation, but this is a good thing from the CIK that they postponed to next year, because we have not enough time to test.
Okay.
And we will not have until end of the year. So at the moment we have just small things. We have no big improvements. We were planning to adapt the chassis to the tires, but without race conditions it's also difficult.
Yeah, so everything's really been delayed and pushed back one more year again. All the development and everything.
Yeah, looks like that at the moment.
Okay.
We will also go down a little bit and save as many costs as possible. This is, I think, normal at that time, because in 2019 we celebrated the 50 years anniversary, and for sure we will stay for longer and not go bankrupt because of the situation now. So
no.
We save as much cost as possible.
Tell me, when you talk about saving money, this has been something that everybody's talking about, all the manufacturers. What do you think are the main ways that you can save money? I suppose there'll also be some customers that say, look, because of our business or their parents' business or their sponsors, they won't be able to do as many races. So how do you save money as a manufacturer?
Yeah, we have the good possibility in Germany that we can send some of our workers to home, to the, it's kind of called Kurzarbeit. It's not a nice expression, but it's the people can work, let's say 50-60%,
Yes.
and they get some money from the German Federation, and that's good.
Okay.
And so the good thing is everybody belongs to me, the factory, the machines, everything. For sure I cannot produce and I cannot earn money, but I have no big costs. And with the workers, the German Federation helps us a lot in this situation.
Yeah, this is great news. I know there's a lot of history in your company, family history, way back when. Now, is it 1957? Am I right, or am I missing? When was the first go-kart really? Tell me, how many years ago? Do you remember when the first go-kart came out of the Hetschel company? Was many years ago.
Yeah, 68, 69.
Okay.
69 we founded the company.
Okay, you founded the company in 69. In 1957, yes, I remember they were racing in California. That's it. That's why it stays in my head. But it's a long history. It's a company, like you say, it's a big investment. It's a big responsibility for you and your staff, for the company, for the family name and business. So this is an important time, and I'm sure this is what really will affect a lot of people in our industry, not only our industry, but it's good news. You're thinking for the future and another 50 years ahead. So
yes, for sure. we will do that, yeah.
Okay.
And at the moment, we have not so much work for sure, but we are on a solid foundation.
Perfect.
And if the next 3-4 months we can go back to racing and earn some money, everything will be okay. We use the time now to do this discussion with our customer, think about how we can also change the sport, bring some new ideas, have internal restructuring in the company to make the processes more fluid, if we can come back to normal work. But for sure, the most thing I miss is the racing, the customers, and all the atmosphere on the racetrack.
Yeah.
This is really hard at the moment.
It is hard, and I'm sure when everyone's back, they'll just want to hug each other and all this, but they'll be just like, okay, keep our distance, stay safe. But yeah, some good ideas, and as you say, thinking about the future now, what you can do, and maybe this brings out some even more positive, situations and steps, as you say, for karting and the sport and the industry for the future. So, but it's been really nice to talk to you and to see you. We will see you soon anyway. I'm sure in the next couple of months. We will see you on the track, and maybe we'll make another interview and ask you how it's going as well.
Okay, great. No, it's a really great idea what you do now to keep the community together and bring these broadcasts. And for sure, we will also spread this format, and hopefully after the COVID, we can also keep this and stay in touch, maybe once a month or something like this with some people. This would be really good.
We drop in on our neighbours next in Upper Austria at Rotax. Hi Steve, how are you?
Hi Jen, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Welcome to my beautiful studio here in Austria, just a stone's throw up the road from your house.
Yeah, it's not far. We could have done this live in person.
We could. If you just, if I just make a coffee, you could run down here.
I don't know about running there, but yeah.
Okay, on the bike. Steve, now here you are working. I know you work with BRP-Rotax now with karting. A lot of people may not realise that. We've known each other some years working in karting and everything together. But also as consultant for BRP-Rotax, you take on a little bit more responsibility now.
Yeah, I've been involved now with Rotax for some time in developing the markets in North America and Asia. Now I'm responsible for the new projects, let's call it, with the e-carts and the future technologies. So this is exciting because this is something that I really believe we're going to see more of in the future. And I think it comes faster than any of us believe.
Of course, a little bit of a change for the Austrian company. They have Canadians, and you have spent a lot of time also in the past, with Nicholas and Matthew Latifi in Canada and some of your other drivers that you supported over the years. But going into the Austrian company, you speak German at all? A little bit?
A little bit, enough.
Of course, you have a partner, she's Austrian, Esther. So this helps, but it's a new way of thinking. Do you think new technology as well? It's not only Austrian people obviously involved in Rotax, is it, at Gunskirchen?
No, it's a really international company. We have many people from all over the world as partners, so it's very diverse.
And what happened, Steve, in March, way back in March? I know what happened to me. I've been in my apartment and my studio locked here. But what happened with BRP-Rotax? What was their philosophy? I guess they had an approach to what they're going to do to take care of their people and their customers.
Yeah, I think fundamentally the whole world has been affected by this pandemic, and I think what Rotax did in conjunction with the Austrian government is we employed a short time work model, which allowed the company to stay viable for the period, let's call it the closed business time. Now, a lot of the racetracks were closed, pretty much all of them globally. Some were open at different times, some earlier than others, and some quite late into getting going again. For example, the UK's only just opened up now and starting to allow people to practice. But then we have places like Czech Republic and also Austria who are already racing again. And then you have the US where the race events were still going on in states even during the pandemic, and in other states in the US it was full lockdown, so it was quite different. I think as a company the short business model allowed us to still operate and support the people who were still working and still active, and also more importantly we could still support our customers via our distribution network around the world, and this allowed us to be in a strong position as we are now at the, let's call it the global restart.
Yeah, and how much influence does BRP-Rotax in Canada have on the decisions that Rotax in Austria made as far as how they manage this travel and work time and everything?
Yeah, we have some quite clear procedures about what we're allowed and not allowed to do with travel, and it's all about protecting, let's call it, the facility where we do the manufacturing. You know, we have temperature checks going into work. We have to fill out questionnaires. I was traveling the past few weeks, and because I was crossing borders, I was having to have virus tests before and after, just trying to be sure that we're not actually bringing anything back home to the factory, which could jeopardize the future production, because obviously production's been stopped for some time, and it's just started up again a few weeks ago, and we don't want to have to close this down again when we have not short supplies, but we want to be able to supply the market as a whole, and not risk that through let's say an infected person coming into the factory. So there's, as I say, there's some quite clear procedures to try and limit any risk, the same as we have at racetracks and when you go shopping, and it's all about just trying to protect people the best that we can.
Now, tell me some points that came up in talking to other manufacturers today is also the fact that the supply of parts they needed or different things they're waiting on, like for example, Drew Price Engineering in Australia, of course, they couldn't necessarily supply their customers. So is this a challenge? Because Italy, of course, was one of the first countries to close down, and some of the other countries where Rotax obviously deals with and has partners.
Yeah, this is something that I believe Rotax did really well. You know, we're a big organisation, multinational, and we're not a small company at all. And we have a vast experience in multiple supply chains for all our products, you know, not just in the kart engines, from the whole product line of BRP. And we stockpiled as much as we could to ensure a smooth restart, and also to be able to supply during the shutdown the best that we can. Obviously, there might be some items that are a challenge because, for example, parts from Italy. Italy was really heavily hit during this crisis, and supply was affected there for an extended period of time. So, yet there is some challenges. We are supplying the market. We have goods available, as do our network, and thankfully most of our network already had stock before this happened. So there should be no true supply issues in the market for us.
Interesting. Now, of course, the latest news over the last week, we've got some changes to, of course, the major Rotax events, change in dates, change in location, but good news is that they're going to go ahead at this stage, all being well. Maybe you can give us a little bit of insight, share a little bit of insight into how you make these decisions on what happens when.
Yeah, for let's say the past few months since the lockdown happened, one of the things that we've really been trying to consider and trying to limit damage to is the RMCs around the world. You know, we've really tried our best to try and be ahead of the curve, let's say, and try and be proactive to ensure that our network can offer race events when we were allowed to restart that would be attractive to our customers. This means an attractive Rotax Max Challenge that has not just one event, but multiple events where our community can come together and compete against each other. And obviously the highlight of that season is the Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals. And normally this year we would have been going to Bahrain in November. And yeah, we had to change this because this wouldn't have allowed the network to do the Rotax Max Challenge as we wish and also the customers wish. So we moved the date into January 2021, and this allows us to run a suitable Rotax Max Challenge of a good length into the later months of the year where normally people are stopping. And this is what our distributors, what our drivers and the community as a whole was asking for. It took some time for us to define the details because I don't think people really appreciate how much planning and the complexity that goes into organising the grand finals. You know, obviously we had to change contracts and organise shipment and the material now to go to Portugal instead of Bahrain. And obviously this changes a lot. Also with the change to Portimao, this really should make it much easier for the Rotax community around the world to travel to the event. You know, we were in constant contact with the Bahrain authorities, trying to make this event possible in Bahrain this year. But to be honest, it was too high risk that maybe a good percentage of our community wouldn't have been able to attend the event. And what we're seeing now is, for example, there's talk of Formula One going to be in Portugal. There's obviously our competitors are hosting races in Portugal. Obviously, the CIK have got races in Portugal. All things are indicating that Portugal will be really an accessible location for the karting community of a whole at that time of the year. And yeah, we have to see what happens in the future with this virus, but this is the smartest decision, I believe, and also Rotax believe, for everybody as a whole. We're committed to do the grand finals, and we had to do what was the best to limit the risk that we could host the event in the best possible situation. And this wasn't a decision that we taken lightly. We really wanted to go to Bahrain, and who knows, maybe we go in another year in the years to come.
Yeah, sounds good. Of course, we've travelled all around the world in the last 20 years for the grand finals, and that's what makes the grand finals such a different thing. Of course, here, the team at KART-DATA TV are always there supporting Rotax and the grand finals. What about the international trophy? We see it's also changed to Portugal. Is it going to be the true last opportunity to win the ticket to race for your nation?
Yeah, I think what Sodikart, 3MK, our partner who hosts this event on, was smart. I think with the situation in France, it was too close to host the event in August, whether the travel restrictions will be lifted. And I think by moving it to Portugal, it gives people the opportunity to test in preparation for the grand finals. And as we say, we believe from what we see in the calendar at this moment in time, that it will be the last chance for people to qualify for a ticket. So I think this could gear up to be an incredible event to finish out what will be, let's call it a delayed start, but an exciting Rotax Max Challenge calendar for 2020.
And also, Steve, I did see the DEKM, which runs in conjunction with the German Kart Championship, the DKM, is coming back on track in August. It's also been delayed constantly, as we've seen all the calendars just keep changing and swapping. Even the ADAC in Germany next month now has been changed to August. So, you know, this is, like you said, you're working on a new project. We saw the Project D20 last year, first launched in Sano. So are you feeling confident about this now? And of course, I know you guys have been on track testing once you were able to be out there once again.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I think with the delay till August, this also opens up the door to many people who want to do international events, because the DAKM with our Project D20 is open for international participation. And obviously we want to have an international field on the grid in this kart experience and the new electric vehicle. You know, we've been on track now last week, and I'll be honest, I'm really excited. The performance looks really good, and also the autonomy, how many laps it completes is really good. You know, we were doing in Bruck in Austria 20 lap runs on one charge, and then if you have a downtime of just over an hour to recharge and go back on track again, this really now starts to tick the boxes that maybe we didn't tick in the past with the previous electric vehicle, which was the first generation, which is normal. You know, we're into the second development now of this electric car project, and we really now have a vehicle that can go a proper race distance and is comparable for speed and performance and handling as a two-stroke kart. And yeah, we will be offering people to test this in the near future. We still have some further checks and let's call it validation to do on the equipment before we do this. But yeah, we're really excited to let people experience and feel this, because the people in Bruck last week were quite shocked by what they saw, because they didn't expect it to be as fast as it was, and also to do the distance that it can do. And it was making this comfortably. So I'm excited for this year with the E20. I think we have something that people were asking for with an electric vehicle, and I think we really moved a big step in the right direction.
I suppose when I think about it, it's probably not the most accepted form of go-karting, like when the 125 push button start came in, it was too quiet and you didn't have to push it. That was good for me though, because I didn't have to push it with 25 kilos of lead. However, BRP, I know they have many electric products. What they already have out there, what they're working on. The go-kart is probably a little bit, as you say, of a project to help promote this. In some of the countries, I think we will probably see e-karting become more normal, like it is in rental carts now in many countries, in many cities as well. Not that I think a combustion company like Rotax are considering to replace the majority of their business though. I mean, this is probably something that people need to realise that from what I understand from Peter Usinger, it's an addition to, whether it's for the future or now, but like bikes, I guess. A lot of people ride electric bikes. Helmut Vogelsam, who I would have liked to have seen today, hi Helmut, also has an electric bike, I think from KTM, and it's becoming more normal. Do you think it's going to be more accepted once people can see we can do both, or we can choose?
I think what we're going to see is there's going to be an evolution of customers, and drivers. The kids, the young kids now, electric vehicles are a lot more accepted. I'm a two-stroke guy, don't get me wrong. I love combustion engines. It's something that I've grown up with, and the more time I spend around the electric vehicles, the more I appreciate the positives that they deliver. When I was in the UK, I was involved in a club in the UK, and I was on the committee to run in that club, and you can't imagine the amount of pressure that the clubs and tracks are under because of noise and pollution control. Like, just to give an example, in California, there's such controls now, it's nearly impossible to buy a petrol lawnmower. So when are the tracks going to come under pressure from the regulation that's going to forbid the use of a two-stroke? We might see this in some countries. And if we don't have a vehicle or a product that the drivers can use in them areas, karting could be dead. The same way the 100cc was completely disappearing as fast as anybody could imagine, and then the Max came along and for me rescued karting. The electric vehicles could do the same in areas where it gets forbidden, because we don't know what the government bodies are going to do with regards to regulation around recreational vehicles on racetracks. And the other side of this as well also is it's just another option for people. It's going to run alongside the combustion engines for the next 10 years, maybe more, maybe a lot more than that. Nobody knows. But for us not to be prepared for this would be crazy in my view.
Now, to finish off, Steve, I know I have been talking to Helmut recently, Vogelsam, and of course he's the face that a lot of people would know from the grand finals. Stefan Gruber also, and Lisa there. They're getting everything organised now for Portugal with Robert, the logistics manager. So I know everyone's starting to get really busy, but I guess there's a message for all of us, which everybody's saying. They miss karting, they miss being there with the people, the passion for the racing, and of course I know you're probably feeling a little bit the same, trapped in there. You told me you don't have much time even to ride your new bike, so I suppose everyone's sort of waiting just to get out. When do you think it's going to all happen now? When do you think realistically we will see lots of Rotax events? We've started to see the calendars, but things are still changing, and what are Rotax thinking now?
The last 2 weeks I was on the racetrack in the Czech Republic, and I really see now that the people are desperate to get out and have fun again with the Rotax engines. I was at an RMC event in the steel ring, and there was a lot of people there, and yet it's different than it was before. For example, Saturday was the racing for the kids and Sunday was the racing for the adults to keep the numbers down. I think in various areas we have to work with new regulations and maybe work a different way, but the race events are starting again, and we're seeing this everywhere. The restrictions are coming down, the borders are open across Europe now, apart from a few countries, and this coincides then with the RMC starting, and we're seeing this. All the calendars are getting released thankfully the numbers of infections are dropping, even with the relaxation of the restrictions, should we say. And as long as this carries on like this, yeah, I think we'll be back to normal life, or the new normal, as people keep calling it, quicker than we think. You know, the numbers really are falling away when you track the trends everywhere, even with the reduced need to wear masks and people keeping distance and. So I think we're in a good situation at this moment compared to where we were 2 months ago, and things change so fast, and they seem to be changing much faster than we anticipate in a positive manner also. And we can only hope that this carries on and everybody takes responsibility and follows the guidelines from the governments, and we can keep these numbers low, and then we can all have fun again together at the track.
That's it. It's all about having fun, and that's what the recreational philosophy is at Rotax. It's powering the ultimate ride and all these fun things, keeping your heart beating. You know, that's what it's about, and we need to do that. Thank you, Steve, for your time, and hi to everyone there at Gunskirchen. Before I visit my international media friends, I have some news. In Belgium, Karting Genk has got the green light to go racing with the B&L Kickoff 2.0 reboot on July 3rd to 5th. In Germany, the ADAC cancels their July round of the Kart Masters in Oschersleben. In Poland, racing got underway with Rotax starting the season off in Poznan, but I've heard that there's some big news, so watch out this weekend. Plus, who will be the lucky drivers selected for the FIA Girls on Track Rising Stars program for that Ferrari drive? And in Finland, they had a very hot race with almost 40 degrees. Last weekend, they were melting, but a good weekend. And in Italy, Andrea Giustini from Vroom Karting magazine tells us what's going on. Ciao, Andrea Giustini, how are you? From Vroom magazine.
Hello, Jen. I'm fine, thanks.
Hey.
And you? It's all okay?
Yeah, all okay. I don't know if my weather is as good as yours or if it's the same, but it's really nice once again to talk with you here on Kart Globe.
Yeah, also for me.
Yes.
Yeah. Also because by the last time many things are happening, also on track, and we're now close to restart of also for the international racing season that will be resumed in 2 weeks, and then also this weekend, if I'm not wrong, the CEE by Rotax will restart. So we can see that now it's probably the right moment to see, okay, the phase 2 of motorsport is starting. So it's very good. It's very good for all of us, because we were on Lonato last week. We saw many drivers, and it seems like to be back to our routine.
Yes, but not just any driver too. You saw many, but there was a special one.
Yes. Last week we were with Charles Leclerc, who was in Lonato to present and to race to test for the first time his brand new kart, the CL16, and it's been a big emotion for us to see him, but not just for us, because many tifosi from Ferrari came to see him with the Ferrari flags. Many people were out from paddock, and also the Corberi family used all the precaution possible to be all to say all okay, and to see that all are safe. So we stay safe with him, and also with a lot of tifosi that came from to see Charles and to take an autograph by him. So,
fantastic. So South Garda Karting had to take care of everybody and make sure it was all good, and very good. And this must have been a great experience. Great.
Yeah, especially because we were all curious to see how karting is now after the lockdown, because many things are changing now, because we have to maintain the social distances, we have to wear the mask every minute, every time. So it's very important to maintain all the disposal by the government. And I think that the things are running well at the moment, and I'm happy of what I saw in Lonato, and I think that if we go on track with the same condition, we will be safe. So it's very good. It's very good.
This is really, really important, and hearing that from someone like you, one of the guys that's always there amongst the drivers and the teams, you know, you get so close to everybody, we take this for granted. But when you have to be aware of it, as you said, you were quite confident now, and it's time to go racing, I think.
Yeah. After about a month of testing, it's now the time to prove how much people are ready to restart. Because, you know, luckily many drivers can restart since the first day with testing, but others, for example, from some parts of the world, cannot test again. So it will be also challenging to see how many people will restart and their physical and mental condition.
Yes. Well, I saw the new issue of Vroom is out. I'm going to have a read online, and we'll read more about Charles. Hi, there's your friend. Hi. That's funny. He's trying to hide.
Because we're now at the office. Sorry, but because we had a small emergency, so my home was not available to do this, so we remain at the office.
No, it's okay. Okay, well, I hope the emergency's okay, and hi to your colleague running around there trying to hide from us. He can come on the Kart Globe. No, I'm going to let you go because I know you've been in meetings and you're busy. You're planning to be back on track, so we'll be watching what's happening.
It's not so easy because Luca from WSK Promotion has to fit all the things together because he has not just karting but also Formula. The problem is that Formula 4 event in Hungaroring was in the same week of Formula 1, so they canceled the event and they moved the karting calendar. So we were forced to change, and we feel Luca and we support Luca because we understand how difficult it is to organize all and to try to maintain all the events in the calendar, despite you have more than 2 championships because he also has the regional, so it's not easy. And we understand the difficulties of for a promoter to maintain all safe and all the events originally planned in January. So that's not easy. But obviously for us, it's a little bit difficult to understand the right time to do all the bookings for hotel or for rental cars, for flights. But yeah, we're very close to find a solution. So we're happy to see that we will be finally on track at the end of June with the WSK Circus.
Okay, WSK Circus is ready to go, and we'll be watching. It's going to be good, but lots and lots to do now in such a very short time. So I can just wish you luck with that. And I'm sure you will work it out because you guys will manage it no problem. I think it's about being flexible at the moment, so it'll be fine.
Thanks.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. It's also challenging for us because we have to see how your capabilities in the difficult moments when you have not so many time, a lot of pressure. So we have to see that. We're happy that we're very close to our solution. So
but at least like you say, you're healthy. You're there in Italy. Everyone's getting back to work, and now we're going to look forward to the racing. So, you know, we'll be watching Vroom. But most importantly, you guys take care, and we will catch up again. In any case, probably in the next month, and find out how everything went with the racing. So, very nice to have you back here.
Thanks. Once again, I say thanks to you and to all the Kart Globe followers, and I wish that you're enjoying this karting community who we try to show to people all the background and all the things behind the scene of karting. Okay.
Yes. Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much.
Bye.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Bye, Jen. Bye all.
Mark Wicks from Kart Sport News, Australia. What's new in the land down under, Mark? So, g'day, Mark. How are you?
G'day, Jen. Everyone, I'm good. Yeah.
How's it going down there, down under?
Good. Yeah. We've had some fine days, and we've got karts getting back on track. And COVID safe social karting has been happening here for a few weeks now nationally. We've got racing happening in Northern Territory and Western Australia, South Australia, Victoria, Tasmania, supposed to have kart racing, club level racing happening either this weekend or the weekend after. And in New South Wales, under one organising body, they've already been running races, which there's some photos will come up shortly. And under the other governing body, they're not going to be running until July 1st. So they're interpreting the government regulations differently from.
Okay, and tell me what else is happening Any other news happening around Melbourne?
Yeah, we've got the state championship and national events. We don't know for sure when they're going to be starting up. They're talking about August, September, but Karting Australia is supposed to be releasing a calendar for that by the end of this month. So we'll have an idea then of what's going on a national level. In Melbourne, there's just practice sessions, but the first club days in Victoria will be running at the end of this month. So, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Also over in New Zealand, they returned to racing last weekend as well. They had about 270 drivers taking part across 5 different clubs over there.
Fantastic.
And one of the circuits at Dunedin, I think is how it's pronounced, they had a -5 degree night and frost covered the track. So they had to do a bit of work to get the ice off the circuit before they could start racing.
Yeah, because it's winter there, isn't it? We're coming into winter now, so...
Yeah, coming into winter. In Melbourne, actually, we've had a couple of really nice days. It hasn't been too wintry at all, but it's going to get really wet and cold really shortly.
And tell me, I was going to say, I saw some photos coming up there from DPE. Have you spoken at all to Bart Price down there at Drew Price Engineering?
Yeah, I was talking to Bart today about the industry side of things, and actually those photos from DPE are when they supplied all of the karts for the celebrity race for the Grand Prix that got called off, and I think that the go-kart celebrity race was the only thing at the Grand Prix that actually ran.
Oh my goodness.
That's what those photos are about.
Yeah.
So it was a nice fleet of 4-stroke karts. But yeah, I was talking to Bart today about what's going on from the industry side of things, and he was telling me that and they're open and trading, but they're only sort of doing 50 to 60% of what they would normally be doing at this time of year. And he was saying that that's fairly representative across the board with other dealers and industry members in Australia that he's been speaking with. And so while it's up and down on a day-by-day basis, week by week, things are getting stronger as we go. But sort of I'll back up a little bit there, because he was saying that like when the whole COVID thing happened and basically no orders come in, it was sort of a really go into panic mode. And he was saying he was more concerned for his employees because no one was really sure what was going on with the virus side of things. And he made the call quite early, actually, to close down the factory and tell everyone to go home, get locked up, be safe, that sort of thing. And they closed the factory for 2 weeks. But they realised that, if they were smart about things and kept everyone safe, the DPE building is actually quite large for the number of people that they have working in there. So they went back after 2 weeks and were working on projects that they would not normally get time to do. So they weren't trading, they weren't open to the public or anything like that, but they were undertaking some work. And big focus for them was getting their online store up and running to the level that they wanted it to, because all of a sudden it grew in the level of importance with... people buying things in lockdown, obviously.
I can imagine.
So that was one of the things that they were working on. Yeah.
Very good.
So,
and good news.
Yeah, and he was saying that they've had a number of issues with supply delays. They get a lot of stuff coming in from Italy, and where the shipping times have nearly doubled, for example. So, but that's all starting to get going as suppliers reopen and get back into things.
Okay. Well, we're talking, of course, in the program this time with some of the manufacturers. So I'm sure they all understand exactly that situation. But of course, Australia is a long way away. So I'm sure DPE have a huge order when they place them. And now they've got, of course, the superstores also. And as you said, DPE is quite a big location, big venue as far as, a manufacturer or a dealer there. If anyone has ever been there, it's quite impressive. So they would have staff in there and not know they're actually at work, I think. But good to hear anyway.
That's right.
Yeah, so is there anything else, Mark, or are we going to keep in touch and see what happens in the next couple of weeks?
We'll keep in touch. Yeah,
Looking forward to seeing...
Keep in touch.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see when they roll out, if they start in July, as you say, and also the major, national races, because this is really probably the pinnacle of Australian motorsport there. For karting is at the top with the Karting Association.
Yeah. So we've got club level racing is all pretty much going to be running by the end of this month throughout the whole country, hopefully. And but yeah, August they're talking. I've heard, but it hasn't been confirmed. The Rotax Pro Tour might be able to get their event running in August, and then the next round of the Australian Kart Championship maybe in September, but hasn't been confirmed yet.
Okay, so we'll keep watching social media and of course Kart Sport News for all the updates down there from Australia and across our New Zealand friends across the water. So we're going to wish you luck. Have a nice evening. Good luck. I hope your dad's feeling better soon. I know he's not so well. So nice to have you with us. Talk soon. Around the world one more time, Rob Howden from eKarting News. What's the latest from Canada and the USA? Hi Rob, up there in Canada. How are you?
I'm great, Jen. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing really well, thank you. Nice to see you again after a few weeks.
Yeah, you know what? It's been a while since we've talked, but there's been a lot going on. People going racing here in Canada. I'm hopefully going to be out on track next week as well, so it's good to get things back going again.
Yeah, it is good, and of course it's all happening. Some countries, of course, still a little bit further behind us, but what's happening there in the north in Canada?
Well, up here in Canada, we're finally actually getting some racing going. We actually moved into what they called Stage 2 at one point here in Ontario, and they were allowed to have people come appointment only kind of a thing and get some practice in, some testing. A couple of clubs, the one at Goodwood, which has been around for 50 plus years, and the track at Hamilton, Mosport as well. They had their first club race, I believe, this past weekend. So club racing is getting started, still with a lot of social distancing. They're making sure that we do the right stuff still, because Canada's doing a great job. We've almost got this thing kind of locked down, which is great. But for the sport getting going as well up in Canada, it's been fantastic.
Yes, and what about in the US then? Because that, like we talked about initially in the first show, a little bit different situation there, and of course in different stages as well.
Yeah, the country's so large, as you know, 50 different states, and so the different states have their own governing bodies, and they're all kind of opening up in different ways. For karting, Indiana has been kind of one of the great spots to get things going. Wisconsin as well, Florida, Texas, kind of getting rolling as well. The biggest issues were, of course, near New York City, so New York State. That was one of the hot spots for the COVID-19. People in California locked things down as well. So the Northeast actually getting rolling. The F-Series will be racing at the New York Race Complex in a couple of weeks, which is awesome. They're kind of getting going there in New York State. California finally opening up as well. A lot of people there were getting pretty anxious about when they were going to be able to go racing. Cal Speed Karting in Fontana, California is kind of the core track for California, and it's right located outside a NASCAR track, Auto Club Speedway. And NASCAR, of course, being such a big entity, were kind of taking their time, being very cautious and opening up. They're finally opened up this past weekend just to get some practice rolling, and we'll get going again as well. So they're finally getting going in California. They're getting going in New York. So almost everywhere, I think, in the country now in the U.S., at least club racing is getting going. No major regional events yet and national events, but we'll see those in July and August.
Yes, I've seen the calendars changing constantly, and of course you guys promoting it, and it's just like, have I seen this one already? Or because sometimes you see the same event 2 times or 3 times it's changed, and then they go to a different location. And I think, what about this for the travel? I mean, it must be so complicated when people have bookings and everything.
Yeah, that's indeed the truth. Back in the late '90s, we used to have the North American Karting Championships at Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is another massive NASCAR track, one of the core NASCAR tracks. There was a track on the inside of turn 3 and 4 at that facility. They've actually repaved it. It's going to get going again. There'll be a WK Manufacturers Cup race is going to be taking place there. The Charlotte Karting Challenge, Rock Cup USA is having an event there. There was going to be the 2020 U.S. Rotax Grand Nationals. They were set to run there as well on the July 4th weekend. But because it was an international race, giving out international tickets, of course, we all know that travel is kind of restricted still. They've elected to move their race into mid-September, what I think will be a good idea. And, of course, as you know, with the grand finals getting moved as well, everything kind of moving down the calendar.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge and a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle for everybody, really. And all the organisers and different series also have to perhaps communicate a little bit better to say, okay, how are we going to do this for the benefit of the industry and the community?
And I think that's happening a little bit. I think we're having more communication. It might be actually a decent thing for the sport here because it's really kind of segregated, separated here in the U.S. with Rock Cup and Superkarts USA and all the different organizations like obviously Rotax is getting another push here, the United States Pro Kart Series. They're all doing what they can to kind of slot in dates. We're pushing things into October now as well. Superkarts USA, their Pro Tour was a 6-race, 3-weekend program. They've locked it all into essentially a festival of speed in the middle of August, the week before the Indianapolis 500 at Newcastle Motorsports Park. They're going to do a triple header one weekend and a triple header the next weekend to be able to get their 6 rounds in. Plus, in the midweek, Tuesday and Wednesday, I believe they're going to do a couple of enduros for drivers in the IAME KA 100 categories.
Okay, so clearly you guys at eKarting News won't get any sleep once we start.
None at all. No, none at all. When actually, for me, with all the work I do with Road to Indy and IndyCar as well, I'm around 15 or 16 races over 18 weekends, and I have a stretch in the middle that's going to be 11 straight weekends. So it's going to be interesting.
Goodness.
I get to race a couple times, so it's not that bad,
No.
but it's 11 straight weekends. A lot of hotels.
A lot of hotels, a lot of traveling, but I'm sure you'll be happy to be out there again and leave that seat that you're sitting in, that I've seen you sitting in many times when you're doing. Yes.
Leave it behind me.
Yes.
I don't want to be in my office anymore. I'm sick of my office.
No, but yeah, I've been watching some of the live interviews, of course. It's been great, but I'm going to have to let you go, Rob, because I know you said you're busy. You've been working on the iRacing, the Indy, Road to Indy and all this stuff. But now the real stuff starts to kick off. But it's been really nice to talk to you. We're going to keep watching, of course, on eKarting News with you and David there, telling us what's going on, and hopefully nothing else changes now, so we can really let everybody know when you can expect to go out there, what you need to do to stay safe and to enjoy the racing and follow the rules so that it's good for everybody, especially for the circuit. So I suppose that's it from us, really, isn't it? We're going to have to sort of say goodbye now.
Well, the only one cool thing to mention, I don't know if you've seen it over where you guys are. I'm sure you have a little bit. I know Charles Leclerc did some karting as well. We've had a bunch of IndyCar drivers getting into karts the last couple of weeks. Before the Texas race, James Hinchcliffe and Connor Daly went out and raced at Newcastle Motorsports Park. And today, actually, right now, Marcus Ericsson and Felix Rosenqvist, the 2 Swedish drivers who run for Chip Ganassi Racing, they're out at Whiteland Raceway Park driving the new Will Power karts. So it's good to see the guys that are pros get a chance to get back behind the wheel. Karts are using that to test before they go racing.
Well, we know those names, of course, from European racing here in karting. Yep. So maybe we'll get you to send us a couple of photos if you've got any contacts out there. I can share that. Yeah, maybe I can share it on social media and we can see, because you introduced the new Will Power kart, of course, with Will some time back. And
we did.
Yeah, so we'll keep this running. But we'll have to make sure everyone keeps watching. So I think on that note, that's a really good way to end this. We'll make sure everyone keeps coming back to watch. Of course, they have to subscribe, which I know you guys have subscribed on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's been really nice anyway to keep getting the updates from you. And I know you send me messages, and sometimes I'm watching this. So I guess, is there anything you want to say to all the people that follow eKarting News? Anything that they should expect or they can expect, apart from lots and lots of content, of course?
Well, Jen, I think the great thing is the fact that like you guys at Kart Globe, you guys done a tremendous job bringing all the different areas of the karting world together. I think what you guys have done has been amazing. Through this COVID-19 shutdown pandemic, you guys have been able to do what you've done. We've been able to start our face-to-face live program, and some of our Facebook Live stuff is on our YouTube channel as well. I just think that's probably one of the most positive things that have come out of this, is we've developed a lot more content. You guys have kind of brought the whole karting world together as well, which I think is amazing. Kudos to you guys for putting this together.
Thank you very much. And also thanks for the great face-to-face. Like I say, it's good because the media people, we're also stuck at home. But this is the least that we can do, is also share the news. And I think this has been great also to connect the world. It's not such a big industry, but it's spread right around. Of course, the first step in motorsport for so many people, and we want to get them back on track and keep them positive through all this, to say, even our friends out there in Brazil, Victoria, happy birthday, Victoria, for the other day, but they're also looking to us to say, right, keep us going, because it's really, really tough for some of the people. They're still a little bit behind in the situation now. So, yeah, it's been great. So thanks, Rob. And, we're going to tune out now and make sure everyone tunes in to YouTube to keep watching Kart Globe and also to follow you guys on eKarting News. So thank you very much.
Jen.
Remember, everybody subscribe and follow us. Share it with your friends, share it on social media, tell people about it. Rob's there if anyone has a question about anything happening in that part of the world, Canada and the USA. So take care and we will speak to you soon.